Hello and welcome to week 11 in developmental psych. And as you're aware, this is a continuation of week 10. We've been talking about emerging adulthood, and the quiz and discussions were due in week 10, and you're going to have 2 weeks to complete the assignment for this chapter. And so let's take a look at the course book. And here we are in the assessment area of Chapter 7. And so we have Chapter 7 assignment. And the purpose of this assignment is to understand what does it mean to be an adult. So you will construct, as I've talked about already in the previous video, a test of adulthood based on a 5-point Likert scale. You have each one of the characteristics of being an adult, and you're going to rate yourself 1, never did it, seldom, half the time, most of the time, and always, 1 through 5, and kind of score yourself on how well have you been doing in your job as an adult. This is not a declaration of ineptitude or anything like that. This is a opportunity for you to see where you are in terms of emerging adulthood, or the things that are adult-like that you engage in. It's perfectly fine where you are. So that's the assignment for this week. That's what I'm going to be looking for. Now, at the same time, normally during this particular week, you also have to address the special assignment on identity. And we're going to take a look at that right now. You go into the course book, we go to the index, we go to special assignments. Here's special assignments. We're going to take identity status right there. Now, this is a rather lengthy assignment where I'm asking you to apply a number of different theories and reflections on your identity as it is right now. So, you're going to identify key areas of early childhood experience and apply the identity status model to evaluate changes in your personal statuses over time. So, the rubric below outlines a list of areas for personal reflection. This includes specific incidents associated with the first 4 stages of Erikson's theory. The second area relates to aspects of yourself related to likes, dislikes, hobbies, music, activities, and vocational, scholastic choices, whatnot. And finally, the third area focuses on areas having to do with the creation of parts of your relationship personality, what I covered in puzzle pieces. So, here's an example of a story that I put together for my industry versus inferiority as an example. And here's the grading rubric. You have a title page. You're going to look at trust versus mistrust, and just as best you can describe the puzzle piece that is about basic trust in the world. These are largely foreclosed because they're early development, so just describe them. So kind of you take on trust and mistrust. You go to autonomy and shame versus shame, initiative versus guilt, industry versus inferiority. Then here's personal likes and dislikes. And remember, you are analyzing each one of these, not only in terms of, let's say, Erikson's theory, but also Marcia's, where you were in diffusion, then you were in moratorium, and then you had achieved identity. I want to see, how did you, like in your likes, you were soccer. Let's say you like soccer. How did that happen? Where did you at what age did you get introduced to that? Then you were thinking, maybe I want to do this, and then it, so you're looking at moratorium. Is this the sport I want to do? And then you go into achievement when you decide. I want to see you use the language of Marcia's theory on this, and do the same for your vocational job identity, your family of origin relationships, your early romantic relationships, and then finally your current, or at least recent, relationships. Taking a look at each one of those, exercising your knowledge of Erikson's theory Marcia's theory and puzzle pieces in this one assignment. Now, I am also aware that I'm going to say the majority of you have decided to participate in my study instead of doing this. And that is perfectly fine. And you still have the opportunity, as I've laid this all out, if you have not contacted me to get the okay to participate in my study, which will be released later today, this is Monday, then do that right away and get in touch with me, and you don't have to do this assignment. You will participate in that study instead. So get in touch with me if that's your wish, or dive deep into this assignment. It actually is a very interesting assignment to do. Students have told me that it was a learning experience to kind of look at each one of these aspects that has built up their particular jigsaw puzzle to today, and to see how they made those choices in light of Marcia's theory, in light of Erickson's fundamental groundwork that occurs during those first few stages, and then of course applying puzzle pieces to the formulation of your relationship personality. So I look forward to hearing either way, but please get in touch with me right away if you want to do the study instead, because as soon as I have documentation of your study, I go in here and I just grade this as a 100 instead of you having to actually do it. Otherwise, this assignment is due at the end of this week. So I will hear from you. I will see you submitting things. There's no discussions this week. Please reach out in the discussion boards, class questions and whatnot, if there's anything that you have any confusion on, and I will see you there. Have a great week.